And good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you had a great night. Pardon me. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. And this is what I call my morning musings. I'm sharing a good cup of coffee with you, actually second or third cup of coffee this morning. And we're talking about the dating of the book of Revelation. It is absolutely critical to understand when Revelation was written, because the book tells us from the first of the book, the middle of the book, to the back of the book, that it was to be fulfilled very, very soon. There is absolutely not one syllable of evidence in the book to suggest that it was going to be fulfilled in a panoramic scope throughout the entire span of human history, involving thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So, when was it written? Well, I have suggested to you and demonstrated that the dominant motif of Revelation is martyr vindication. This is absolutely, inescapably, and undeniably true. To identify the persecutors is to identify the proper timing of Revelation. And I suggested to you and demonstrated with interior exegetical demonstration that it was the Jews being identified as the persecutors in the book of Revelation. Now, what many people simply overlook, and this is particularly true of the dispensational world, they fail to see Israel as the persecutor. They see Israel as the persecuted, and that is simply false. Let me demonstrate something else that is absolutely critical, and that is the book of Revelation, in its promise of vindication, utilizes and appeals Old Covenant prophecies of the last days, vindication of the martyrs in the judgment of Israel. The first text is Isaiah chapters 2 through 4. This is a united discourse. Number one, it's set in the last days. Number two, it climaxes in the great day of the Lord, Isaiah 2, 19 to 21. It would be the time of, quote, the war, Isaiah chapter 3, verse 18, when Israel's men would fall by the edge of the sword, chapter 3, verse 24. It would be the time of the appearing, the glorious appearing of the branch of the Lord, chapter 4. It would be the time of the salvation of the remnant, chapter 4, verse 4. And it would be the time in which God would avenge the blood guilt of Jerusalem by the spirit of judgment and the spirit of fire. Now here's what's critical. In Isaiah chapter 2, 19 to 21, Isaiah predicted, the coming of the great day of the Lord, the time in the last days, the judgment of Jerusalem for her blood guilt, when men would run to the hills. They would cry to the mountains, fall on us, hide us from the presence of the Lord. Now watch this. In Revelation 6, the martyrs under the altar cry out for vindication. Greek word ekdekesis, critical word that I develop in my book, Who's This Babylon? The answer to their prayer is the great day of the Lord. And the great day of the Lord is described as the day when men would run to the mountains, cry to the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the presence of the Lord. In other words, the fulfillment of Isaiah chapter 2. So, Isaiah predicted the last days, vindication of the martyrs, at the day of the Lord, when men would run to the hills, cry to the rocks, fall on us, hide us from the presence of the Lord. This would be when Jerusalem was judged for her blood guilt. Revelation promises vindication of the martyrs at the great day of the Lord in the last days, when men would run to the hills, cry to the rocks, fall on us, hide us from the presence of the Lord. A direct citation of Isaiah. Now, Isaiah is clearly a prediction of the judgment of Jerusalem at the time of the vindication of the martyrs. John quotes Isaiah verbatim. Therefore, the great day of the Lord of Revelation 6 is the day of the Lord in judgment of Jerusalem and vindication of the martyrs. You know, I've got that and a whole lot more in my book, Who is This Babylon? By the way, I also have a CD presentation, 12 lessons, an overall view of this very theme. Go to my website, www.eschatology.org, www.bibleprophecy.com. Order this book. Mention you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping. Look, there is so much more in this book. You really, really need a copy of this. Thanks for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. We'll see you on the flip side with more.